Just in late today, big news from Kentucky Derby 150. The Kentucky Horse Racing Commission is now conducting a review of the conduct of the jockey aboard the second-place finisher, Sierra Leone.
They're calling it a standard review. Jockey Tyler Gaffleone has been ordered to attend a film review of the final furlong, the final stretch, and he could face penalties. At issues the physical battle that happened between Gaffleone and the jockey of Japan's Forever Young. Gaffleone put his hand and whip onto Forever Young. Now, after the Derby, the stewards determined that there was no review needed, pointing out that no objections were filed after the Derby race. The film review with Gaffleone will happen this Thursday. If there's a penalty, the racing stewards will post it on the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission website.
More news right here at 5 o'clock. The last day of school is closer than we think, and the JCPS School Board is now debating new start times for August with a possible vote scheduled for tomorrow.
The district's transportation team is on the third month of school bus planning, and they say the need for a finalized plan is urgent, as the summer certainly will fly by pretty fast. WHAS11's Ian Hardwitt is joining us now after talking with a principal today, worried about the new times and what are the options that are up for a possible vote tomorrow.
Doug, the first option changes start times for almost 50 schools, while the second option doubles that number. The shift is more noticeable in the second plan, where a majority of schools are changing by an hour or more. Now, that second option, the district says, is more efficient than the first. It won't eliminate transportation delays caused by the bus driver shortage. At Hyde Elementary, option 2 would push start time back 2 hours, making school start at 9:40 a.m. The principal disagrees with that proposal, saying it could cause congestion outside the school given its proximity to Eastern High and because families and staff may have difficulties adjusting, especially after changing to the earlier 7:30 a.m. start time this school year. She hopes the board will ask more of the district's transportation team.
Ask for an option 3 and ask for an option 3 that honors your commitment to getting elementary age students to school at what research says is the most appropriate time for them.
Dr. Sheridan Barnett there also wants the district to deliver on having later start times for middle and high schoolers. A JCPS board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday night at 6 p.m. with public comment available before they consider the 2 start time options. This all comes after the board previously voted in a new transportation plan, cutting bus routes to most traditional and magnet schools, accommodating the bus driver shortage. I'm Ian Hardwitt, live in studio.
Ian, thank you very much. There's going to be a lot of interest in that meeting tomorrow. Well, the Sherman-Minton Bridge lanes are going to shut down again for a while. It's all part of the planned shutdown and the ongoing rehab project of the Sherman-Minton. Starting today, the eastbound lanes, the lanes that bring you to Louisville from New Albany, are going to stay closed for over 2 weeks. Eastbound I-64 lanes, again coming into Louisville, closed at 3 this afternoon for the crews to finish concrete work on the lower bridge. During that time in southern Indiana, I-265 and I-65 will be your alternate routes. Traffic that bypasses I-265 will not be able to cross the Sherman-Minton and will need to exit onto West 5th Street in New Albany and then make their way over to I-65. Eastbound lanes will be closed until May 20th at 5 in the morning. Westbound lanes will stay open. Here in Louisville this morning, a man was killed in an apparent hit and run that happened on I-65 near Arthur Street down the exit right by the University of Louisville. LMPD says it happened just after 9 a.m. When police got there, they found a man who had been hit by a vehicle in the right-hand emergency lane. LMPD says the man was already dead when officers got there. The traffic unit's investigating, and they also say they don't know what kind of car was involved. Anyone who can help police, call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD.
After serving nearly half of his 60 days for contempt of court, former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Null and his legal team were back in the courtroom again today.
The topic was a recent search of Null's 4 properties to find any additional firearms. Focus Team reporter Travis Breeze and photojournalist Emma Gefter tell us what was found and if there were any additional punishments.
A former FBI agent says he found 2 more semi-automatic pistols and 5,000 rounds of ammunition in Jamie Null's possession. This led to some arguments in the courtroom about whether or not it was appropriate to add any more jail time for contempt of court.
I want an independent individual to scour that household.
The order from Judge Larry Medlock on April 9th. The person chosen to do it,
Your Honor.
former FBI agent Todd Brown, who said he has no affiliation to Jamie Null.
I do not specifically recall ever meeting the defendant.
Brown showed photos he took while searching 4 of Null's properties. He found 2 semi-automatic pistols in different closets of the home on Old Tay Bridge in Jeffersonville.
That's the Glock 26 pistol that I found, and that's the manner in which I found it.
He also found the police model shotgun Null was explicitly allowed to have, and ammo, lots of it.
Approximately 5,000 rounds.
Brown said the weapons were under lock and key, but didn't say where. The prosecution asked for more sanctions.
The finding of 2 additional weapons, one a service weapon, one that was loaded, easily accessible, is still concerning and troubling to the state.
Judge Medlock said since he didn't ask Null on April 9th to confirm they had gotten all the guns, he didn't think it was fair to add any additional days in jail.
But because that certification had not been made, I don't think it would be fair to do so. But I did give Mr. Boyles and his client warning, should any further weapons be found, there will be more sanctions.
Null's defense team asked for a reduction in his jail time to prepare for trial, but Medlock denied. He should be released sometime in early to mid-June. It's not clear when the next court date will be. In Jeffersonville, Travis Breeze, WHAS 11 on your side.
The former FBI agent also said he has turned in Null's police model shotgun to his attorneys at the request of Misty Null.
We also asked Indiana State investigators if they're close to announcing charges for any other defendants in this case, but they could not comment today.
He had taken his apartment, just took it. I don't know how you do that. Say, you get out, I'm gonna live here now.
A Louisville man reportedly bullied out of his home and left to live on the streets. A local nonprofit coming to his rescue, but not everyone at the Dosker Manor Apartments is that lucky. It's a story you'll only see here on WHAS 11. We're shedding light on the challenges facing residents living at the largest public housing complex in Louisville and what the Housing Authority is doing about it. Senior reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez has the story.
Well, you've heard the horror stories. People inside the Dosker Manor Apartments who shouldn't be. Tenants not feeling safe in their own homes. Now we're putting a voice to those concerns.
They take everybody, all the weak people rooms and stuff, and take over.
2024 has been a turbulent year for Mr. Smith, who asked for his identity to be concealed.
It was bad, you know, and I didn't like it not one bit.
Smith found himself homeless after what Open Records cite as a move out of his Dosker Manor unit in late February. But his representative payee reveals this move was anything but voluntary.
If they tore up the apartment, he was gonna still be a victim.
In March, Juanita Henderson with Kept Inc. sent this letter to the Louisville Metro Housing Authority. She writes, quote, before Smith could get settled in his apartment, it was taken over by an individual that goes by the name of Red.
I found out that someone had bullied him out of his apartment.
Henderson goes on to say he actually feared for his life. The result is that he is literally living on the streets of Louisville.
What in the bejesus is going on here?
Court records show police arrested the suspect, a convicted felon who allegedly hijacked the unit. Officers found a loaded gun and illegal drugs inside. Detectives saying the evidence is indicative of trafficking narcotics.
I'm certainly aware of this specific situation, and I've heard anecdotal stories about this happening.
Metro Housing Authority Executive Director Elizabeth Strojan, who started in her role in January, describes a perfect storm resulting from aging facilities that are hard to secure and a vulnerable population.
I think this situation is a perfect example of how difficult it is to manage Dosker Manor.
Housing Authority emails show officials were considering having Smith reapply for new housing and needing another interview, something Henderson thought was backwards.
Now you're gonna make him a victim again? It didn't make sense. Make that make sense.
Through her efforts, Smith ended up at a unit at St. Catherine Court, which the Housing Authority held for him.
And I love it. I love every bit of it. It's more cleaner, and the people are nice.
But still looming over these complexes on Muhammad Ali Boulevard.
How does this still happen to people in modern day times?
At the end of the day, we can't let bad people take over units.
How to avoid anything like this happening again. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
The Housing Authority says it has implemented 24/7 surveillance at Dosker Manor with either officers or guards on site at all times. They tell us they're also partnering with social service groups to give tenants more support.
We're now just 1 week now away from the PGA Championship at Valhalla coming to town, and Louisville is now hanging a new Hometown Hero banner.
Professional golfer Justin Thomas was recognized with his very own Hometown Hero banner. Sports Director Ken Spencer joins us now.
You know, the timing of this unveiling couldn't have been better, right ahead of the PGA Championship returning to Valhalla next week. Thomas has won 2 PGA Championships, one in 2017, one in 2022. And this was a great homecoming for the pro as he looks to capture his third. The 60-foot banner is visible on the side of the Watterson City Park Towers on Bishop Lane, just off I-264 in the Bashford Manor neighborhood. The entire Thomas family was in attendance for the dedication. By the end of the ceremony, Justin was very emotional.
I'm speechless. I think my emotion can show it. I just thank the city of Louisville so much for making me feel like this. And, you know, there's a reason when I tee off. Yeah, I'm announced from Louisville, Kentucky, not Jupiter, Florida, not Goshen, Kentucky, but it's just really hard to pronounce for a lot of people, apparently. So,
Thomas reflected that he used to drive past the building where his banner hangs on his way to school when he went to St. X. He thanks his family for the support they've shown him over the years. And in addition to the Hometown Hero banner, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear honored Thomas as a Kentucky Colonel. Thomas is expected to play at Valhalla next week. Practice rounds for the tournament start on May 13th. How about that?
Well, you follow golf so closely, and these players, you play some of it too.
That's code for it. Kent, you're nuts.
How do you think Justin Thomas does here in his hometown on the Valhalla course?
You know, it'll be interesting. You know, he's not in great form right now. He didn't play his best, you know, at the Masters just several weeks ago. But you never know. You know, the hometown vibes, hometown support. He knows the golf course. So it could get him a shot of it. You know, he wasn't in great form 2 years ago when he won the 2022 PGA Championship. All you need is a little bit to get rolling downhill, and you never know.
What a time for Louisville. Coming off the Kentucky Derby, and we've got PGA just days away.
And now we're betting on a different Derby, right at the 18th.
You know what this week is? It's a chance for us to catch our breath just a little bit because we're running next week as well.
All right. Thank you, Kent.